Hello there, do you have or have you met someone with a simian line? That's a single line across the whole palm. Someone who seems emotionally tense or sometimes completely detached. You might be looking at a simian line soul. Today I will feature another simian line example reading for you, as well as give you some information in case you have not yet heard about it. My name is Sari Puhaka and I have many Simian line videos. If you're interested, check out my playlist. I also do have membership options if you would like to get more deeply into learning palmistry. Let me bring you another slide. Here we go. A double simian, a simian line across both hands. See if I can get a pen in case I feel like drawing on there. Straight across, straight across. Well, that one's a bit crooked. Anyway, where this head and heart line seem to merge into one line is quite rare. It's in less than 5% of people. And it's not just a crease, it is a signature of intensity, which is why some people call it the line of intensity. If you have any of my books, though, you might know that I have a different line for what I call a line of intensity. So that might appear on the hand across the lunar mount. That particular line would also represent intensity. So if you don't have this simian line and you feel like you're an intense person, you might have this intensity line across the mount of Luna. So the simian line suggests a fusion of emotion and intellect. Those two lines join together, but there's a twist. It's not always balanced. It would seem like it is, but somehow it isn't. Some simian line bearers are more heart-led, passionate, maybe impulsive, and deeply empathetic. Some simian lines are more head-led, strategic, focused, and emotionally reserved. There are some who are more on the extroverted side, some are more introverted. In this case, these hands are showing independence, but they're also showing introversion, kind of like an active hand based on all the well-developed mounts. We can look at the left and the right hand as having two different meanings. So the left hand with the simian line, that's your kind of like your inner world. So it may hint more at emotional suppression, potentially past issues or some hidden intensity. On the right hand or your dominant hand, that's your outer drive, your ambition, your obsession, kind of like your laser-like focus on goals, things like that. So having them on both hands tends to put all of that together into the extreme kind of. People with this line often live on the edge, either wildly creative or fiercely private. There's sort of no in-between, lukewarm. They're all in or they're all out. Medically, they call this the transverse palmar crease. It has been linked to certain genetic traits, but in palmistry, it is just like a mark of single-mindedness or single-linedness. A soul that doesn't fit the mold, a mind that doesn't play by the rules. Some famous people have this. Meghan Markle, Hillary Clinton, the famous motivational speaker Tony Robbins, Takashi Murakami, all reported to have simian line creases. Is it a coincidence, or is it proof that this line marks those who challenge convention? And I believe these people challenge convention. If you have the simian line, you should embrace your intensity. You might be built differently. You're here to feel deeply maybe and challenge the ordinary, that's for sure. I'll bring you a closer up picture and I want to have a little talk about the fate line on Simian line people. So in this one here, a right hand example, the career line is almost missing. Normally the career line rises up towards the middle finger, and that would represent the person's goals, motivations, their career. But in many cases, I've seen, mainly on the Simian line people, that the line is almost missing. Here there is a section that looks like a steady career for quite a few years, and then there is a change in this career because this line changes before it reaches the Simian line. So the common reason for these fate lines to be absent on the Simian line is because of the person's actively shifting life path. So maybe an intense internal focus and non-traditional career journey. So why the fate line might be missing or fragmented, the Simian line individuals often have merged emotional and intellectual energy, which can lead to obsessive focus. So on personal passions rather than structured career path maybe, this intensity may override the need for a clearly defined fate line. So palmistry teaches that lines reflect energy flow. So when the Simian line dominates, it can suppress or kind of absorb all these minor lines, including the fate line. So the hand's energy is concentrated horizontally, leaving less vertical expression for career or destiny lines. So often the other lines are missing. The most common lines that do appear though are the girdles of Venus, which are even more add to this intensity. So the broken fate lines or missing fate lines can literally suggest frequent shift in direction. It could be due to inner conflict, evolving passions, external disruptions. Simian line bearers may reinvent themselves multiple times, following their instinct rather than convention. And the skin texture does play a role too, mind you. If you have the tougher skin type, may not show the fine lines very clearly as well. That doesn't mean that the person lacks purpose. It just means that their path is more self-directed and evolving, so not easily boxed into one specific path. Just to summarize that, so the missing fate line means self-made path. These people don't follow certain scripts. They have to carve their own way, sometimes a little bit chaotically, but with deep conviction. If it is segmented, that transformational career thing will be happening. Each segment may represent a distinct phase, a new identity, a new mission, or a new lesson in life. So for example, if there was pieces of the fate line just jumbled all towards the middle finger, but not in a nice clean line. So that is like a trailblazer energy. These hands often belong to rebels, creatives, spiritual seekers, somebody who doesn't need a map. Like they build the road as they walk on it, if that makes any sense to you there. This line on your hand, I'd love you to go and check out my survey on my website, destinypalmistry.com. You will find my surveys page, and there is one there for the Simian line. I'd love you to answer a few questions regarding the personality. It's completely anonymous, and you can also download my palm reading hand tips for free for completing the survey. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you go ahead and watch all my other videos. I have hundreds of them there available for you. Thank you very much, and see you soon.